Well, lots of reasons for some teams to celebrate, some new teams, in fact. Some teams that were there last year aren't. We're going to talk about them. But I do want to start with a couple of teams that, yeah, they made the playoffs, just something doesn't feel right, Michael. Let's start with the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles. They won the division again. They're riding a 3-game win streak, but last week, they didn't complete a pass in the second half against Buffalo. Something just doesn't seem right there.
Yeah, I think inconsistencies on offense. I mean, this team has a great defense, but offensively, they just have not been able to put together 4 quarters, Howie and I was saying a little bit earlier. You kind of want to put your finger on it. You can't figure it out. Run game's not what it used to be, even though it's gotten better in the last few weeks. Passing game just has never seemed to get on track. And I think because of that, I don't know how long the Eagles will last in the playoffs. Yeah.
That Bills team we talked about had won 5 straight division titles before coming in second this year. Every year, though, they fall short in the playoffs. Gronk, is it fair to say that this year is their easiest path to the Super Bowl, but their weakest team?
It's the easiest path to the Super Bowl for them compared to the last 5 seasons. Why is that? Because those last 5 seasons, 4 of their losses were to the Kansas City Chiefs, and 1 of them was to the Cincinnati Bengals. And those 2 teams did not make the playoffs this year. So now the Buffalo Bills, they're the seasoned veteran, playoff team now with experience, and also they got the best dimensional quarterback in Josh Allen.
How are we talking about the Chiefs? 5 Super Bowls in 6 years to a total collapse this year. What went wrong?
I think the wear and tear of those 5 years, that's 1. 2 is the offensive line. Tooney leaves. Their left tackle's in and out of the lineup. Tackle's been an issue. Running game is not a commitment to it, and they also didn't really address it. They didn't have a dynamic back, and I think those changes will be made, and Kansas City will be back.
TB, let's talk about the Lions. 15 wins last year, number 1 seed.
Right.
Not even in the playoffs this year. What went wrong?
Washington went in there in the divisional round and beat them. You know what? Listen, it's real simple. You lose Aaron Glenn, your defensive coordinator. You use Ben Johnson, your offensive coordinator. And when you do that, you got to start all over. Then you go out and get in Morton, an offensive coordinator, do you think, to replace Johnson from Denver, and he doesn't do it, and the head coach has to start calling the plays. Ragnow, their center, huge loss was Ragnow. And then at the end of the year, it seemed like it just gave in because their defense just went south, averaged at over 30, giving up over 30 points a game. So, yeah, there's a lot of problems going on in Detroit.
Howie, this time last year, going into Week 18, the Vikings were playing for the number 1 seed. They dropped into the bottom 4 in offense this year with J.J. McCarthy as quarterback. Is that the only thing that went wrong?
It's not a coincidence. Listen, he was a guy that I think at Michigan was on a really great team that played great defense, ran the football, play action pass, didn't ask him to do a lot. Minnesota's offense is complex. They throw the ball around the yard. I really didn't see anything in college or in his first couple of years here that would lead me to believe that he's the guy. And I think they're probably reevaluating that at this point, saying, he can't stay on the field either physically. So,
yeah. One more team that went the other way. You mentioned the Commanders.
Right.
12 wins last year, NFC Championship game, a total bust this year.
It's kind of like they thought, a lot of these teams say, well, let's get a couple of players, man, and we're there, Didn't work out. They brought in some veterans. Their team was the oldest team in the National Football League this year. And then, unfortunately for them, Jaden Daniels, their great young quarterback, he's out for the year. There you have it right there. It's always wrapped around the quarterback.
Commanders got to get younger next year.
For sure.